The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. A quiet revolution is rapidly reshaping the global geopolitical landscape. The Sahel region of West Africa is breaking its chains. This historic transformation is crystallized in the words of Abdoulaye Diop, Mali's Minister of Foreign Affairs, speaking on behalf of the Alliance of the Sahel States, known as AES. Standing alongside his counterparts from Burkina Faso and Niger in Niamey, Diop explicitly outlined a strategic pivot towards Moscow. It is in difficult times that one can count on their friends, Diop remarked. This was a direct rebuke to external Western pressure and hegemony. This is a frontline look into what this shifting alliance means. We will unpack how the AES, comprising Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, is dismantling old dependencies, why they have chosen Russia as their primary partner, and how this alliance is forging a multipolar world order. To understand this geopolitical realignment, we must examine the language used by Abdoulaye Diop. His speech was a fundamental manifesto for a new African sovereignty. First, Diop expressed the collective gratitude of the AES peoples and their authorities to the friendly Russian people and their leaders. In the Sahel, the turn towards Russia is backed by a populace exalted by escalating TT violence under the watch of Western forces. Diop detailed the multi-dimensional nature of this partnership. He specifically highlighted stabilization and counter-terrorism, which represents the immediate need to secure territory and protect human life. He also emphasized socio-economic development, expanding the relationship into infrastructure, mineral resources development, energy, and transportation. Finally, he noted historical solidarity, recognizing that Russia has consistently stood by these nations during difficult times.
From Niger, dear brother, Mr. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Burkina Faso, dear brother, I would naturally like to join my voice with that of my counterpart from Niger to extend the warmest welcome to our friend, His Excellency Sergei Lavrov, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation on AES soil in Niger, as well as to the entire delegation accompanying him. Mr. Minister, your presence today in Niamey, through your presence, you honor a commitment made, that of establishing relations between the Confederation of Sahel States and the Russian Federation within the framework of mutual respect. Indeed, after the first session of our consultations in Moscow in 2025, the Confederation of Sahel States is honored to welcome within its territory the head of diplomacy of the first country to have formally and publicly recognized the Confederation of Sahel States right from its creation. In July 2026, by their excellencies, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, President of FASO, President of the Confederation of Sahel States, General Assimi Goïta, President of the Transition, Head of State of the Republic of Mali, and General Abdrahmane Chiani, President of the Republic of Niger, Head of State. Without any hesitation, His Excellency President Vladimir Putin extended his full confidence and esteem to the AES Confederation as well as to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, thereby strengthening, if it was still needed, the international visibility of the Confederation of Sahel States, which has now become an essential geopolitical entity in West Africa. This consultation session between the foreign ministers of the Confederation of Sahel States and the Russian Federation thus strengthens the already special relations between the Confederation and Russia, We particularly appreciate the leadership of the Russian Federation and the objectivity of your analysis regarding the situation in Africa, and more specifically, the situation in the Sahel. Far from yielding to international pressures and biased narratives conveyed by certain states and relayed by media pursuing a political agenda, the Russian Federation has managed to maintain a clear and pragmatic understanding of the situation in the Sahel. Our regular and constructive exchanges have indeed allowed us to go beyond our security cooperation, which is doing very well, to successfully engage in a fruitful partnership in the field of economic and commercial development, supported by a convergent diplomatic vision. The partnership we maintain with the Russian Federation thus eloquently illustrates the potential of the Confederation of Sahel States, as well as its dynamism, which will take its rightful place in the concert of nations. I take this opportunity to reiterate all the gratitude of the peoples of the AS, as well as its authorities, to the friendly Russian people and its high authorities for their support of our security efforts and the fight against terrorism, but also for Russia's multiple interventions in the socio-economic development of our countries, and for always being by our side in the difficult moments of our history. It is in difficult times that one can count on their friends. Thank you for your friendship, thank you for your solidarity, but also thank you for your constant support. I conclude these words of gratitude by expressing the wish that this session further strengthens our relations, I would say our partnership, for the benefit of our populations, but also for the benefit of peace and stability. Thank you.
The AES views Russia not just a vendor of military hardware, but as a holistic partner in nation building. To appreciate why this ministerial conference in Niamey is so revolutionary, we must examine the context that necessitated the creation of the Alliance of Sahel States. For decades, the Sahel was governed under a system of dependency where external powers maintained deep control, monopolized strategic resources, and stationed military bases across the continent. When the TT insurgencies erupted, foreign forces intervened. The result of those external military interventions were catastrophic. Over a decade, despite the pressure of thousands of foreign troops in a multi-billion-dollar United Nations peacekeeping mission, the security situation drastically deteriorated. TT groups expanded their territorial grip, massacring civilians and displacing millions. To the populations and the armed forces of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, a troubling realization emerged. Recognizing that their survival depended on collective defense, these three nations took the historic step of establishing the AES to defend their security and development together. When foreign powers severed aid, imposed economic sanctions, and halted military supply lines in a futile attempt to crush the AES nations back into submission, the Sahel states did not buckle. Instead, they exercised their sovereign rights to diversify their partnership, turning decisively toward the Russian Federation. The nature of the AES-Russia partnership is different from the Western model. Russia convexively approached the Sahel through a doctrine of state sovereignty, mutual benefit, and practical efficiency. As foreign ministers Sergei Lavrov, Abdoulaye Diop, Karomoko Jean-Marie Traoré, and Bakri Yao Sagare reaffirmed during their consultations, Moscow's objective is to enhance the operational capabilities of the AES armed forces. This translates into tangible results on the ground. Advanced military hardware, the delivery of combat aircraft, attack helicopters, advanced drone systems, and heavy artillery without political strings attached. On the ground, tactical support, training and operational integration allowing Sahelian soldiers to reclaim territories from the TT groups. Intelligence sharing, the provision of satellite imagery and electronic warfare capabilities neutralizing the technological advantages that TT groups previously exploited. By treating the AES governments as equal sovereign actors, Russia has filled the vacuum left by retreating Western forces, proving that its model of security cooperation is built on speed and real-world efficacy. A common critique propagated by Western media is that Russia's footprint in the Sahel is purely transactional, limited to military presence. Abdoulaye Diop's addresses completely shatters this narrative. During the Niamey consultations, the agenda expanded into comprehensive socio-economic integration, energy security. The Sahel possesses immense economic potential but lacks industrial energy access. Russia is actively discussing joint infrastructure projects, including civil nuclear energy, solar power grids, and the modernization of electrical distribution systems across Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Resource development. The new partnership focuses on local processing, technology transfer, and joint geological surveys to map the industrialized mineral asset systematically, ensuring that the wealth generated from gold, lithium, and uranium funds state budgets and public services, transportation, and connectivity. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world in Africa, West Africa, and in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso.